Hey guys, we're back with another educational series. Since the hip and mobility series did so well, we got so much great feedback, we're going to stick with the lower limbs, but this time we're going to focus on ankle and foot mobility and strength.
So if you recall from the hip series, our body is an alternating sequence of mobile and stable joints. So we're focusing on the mobile ankle and the stable foot. Now once we cover the ankle specifically, we could go back to how mobile ankles and hips affect our knee. So that'll be the next series after this. But don't forget, this isn't just education. You could access the area's best gym and chiropractic office at a discounted rate. See below for details. People don't think about their ankles, and they definitely don't think about their feet. And it's actually a very important part of the body, because what happens in our foot and ankle pretty much determines how the rest of our body is going to move, especially while we are walking and running. So why this is important is our foot has to alternate between a locked, unlocked, and locked position when we're walking and running. We do that so we could generate anywhere from 2 to 6 times our body weight, depending again if we're walking or running. So I'm going to have Carlos demonstrate what I mean. When we first strike the heel, our foot's in a locked position. Then when it goes totally flat, as you can see him do while we're walking, the foot becomes unlocked. But then it has to go right back to being locked again when you're at toe off, right? So when you're walking or running, it's locked, unlocked, locked. It might be surprising, but a lot of people's ankles and feet don't move exactly how we want them to, especially if you have ankle trauma or a sprain in your past, even in your childhood. So we're going to dive in later in this series of what you could do to address that. You know if your foot and ankle is moving properly. Well, obviously if you're in your office, we could do our assessment. So we have everybody walk, do our gait assessment. Then we do a couple tests, some of them that we're going to show you in the upcoming videos to assess your own feet. Then we would individually assess each patient's foot, and it actually takes a lot longer than you would think because there's 26 bones and 33 joints in each foot. So here you can see me assessing Claudia's feet after we've done the biomechanical gait assessment, a few tests. After there, I'm adjusting the restricted joints that we found, and then you can ask her how much better she feels after the adjusting is done.
Every time Dr. Marv adjusts my feet, they do feel better. It feels a lot looser and better to walk.
So now let's start talking about how we could assess your own feet. And of course, people ask, well, tell us how to do your gait assessment. It's not really going to happen in a short period of time. But what I will say is just about everybody will benefit from getting more time barefoot, full stop. So by being barefoot, it actually will start to strengthen your feet, which a lot of us have weak feet because it's the equivalent of wearing gloves on our hands our entire lives. So we do that with our shoes, aka foot coffins. Just kidding. But anyways, walking barefoot could help. Now you're going to slowly increase your barefoot time. We recommend starting at home. When you're at home, take your shoes off. Doing that's going to strengthen your feet, and it's going to increase what's known as proprioception, which is knowing where your body is in space and knowing where your foot is in space. That's actually going to help reduce ankle sprains. So start getting some barefoot time and see how much better your feet start to feel. So one of the most functional tests we do in our office at Coastal Performance Chiropractic is known as a Valase Test. And that's checking to see if the smaller muscles of the feet are firing and working properly. Now this is not only a great test to see do they work, which those muscles often get inhibited after an ankle sprain, but it's a great predictor of senior citizen fall risk, and it can slow down the formation of bunions. Not preventing, but slowing it down. So here's how we do the test. I'm going to have Claudia demonstrate. Feet are shoulder width apart. She's essentially going to do the Michael Jackson lean, where she's keeping her heels down. She's going to lean her whole body forward and using her toes, pull herself back. Again, seems very simple, but it's actually pretty complicated for foot strength, making sure the muscles are working properly. Now, we're looking for something known as a wink sign, which tells us those muscles are working properly. Here's a picture of my 2 feet where the left foot is doing exactly what we want, the right is not, because why? I've destroyed my ankle more times than I can remember, and when I was younger, I didn't rehab it properly. What do you do if you find that you don't have a wink sign? Just do this test 3 sets a day, 10 reps each. You'll start slowly strengthening your feet. All right, so how our big toe, also known as our great toe, moves, specifically extension, is massively important. We actually need a minimum of 30 degrees just to walk normally, I guess, for lack of a better word. But in reality, we would really like you to have 50 degrees, again, of that extension known as dorsiflexion or more, because those demands go up as you are running. So how do you check to see if your big toe is moving like we need it to? Well, you're going to need the help of a friend. Please be nice and air out your feet before they get down, because they're going to be pretty much touching your feet. So be nice. Don't be a bad person. So Tyler's going to face me. What we're going to do to see if we have that minimum is you're going to have your friend put their middle finger under your big toe. You don't move it, they just do. Can I get my middle finger into the big toe? That's the minimum we need of about 30 degrees of dorsiflexion. If you don't have that, which he does, but he has the bare minimum. Since he's a runner, he's probably going to want to work on increasing that. If you don't have that, or like Tyler, you run a lot and you're getting just the bare minimum, you have your work cut out for you. So that means you might need the help of a manual therapist, chiropractor, physical therapist, a good massage therapist, athletic trainer, whatever, for some manual therapy. But later in the series, we will show you specific drills that you can start working on this on your own to improve. Last but not least is ankle mobility. So when we're pointing our toes down, that's known as plantar flexion. When we're pulling them up, that's known as dorsiflexion. Now, typically, we lose dorsiflexion first. That movement is massively important because that's what we need when we're getting in the bottom of a deep squat, lunge, Romanian deadlift, whatever. So I'm going to have Parker here demonstrate how we quickly assess for ankle dorsiflexion in the office. So he's going to turn and face the wall. He's going to start with his toes 2 inches away from the wall. What we're going to see is, can he keep that heel down and then touch his knee to the wall? He does great there. Now, we're going to move him back to 4 inches. So just a little bit further back, about another inch, Parker. There, and we're going to have him go again. As you can see, he's having a hard time doing that, and the heel's coming up slightly. So technically, we would consider that a fail in the office. You're still succeeding at life, bud, but a fail for ankle dorsiflexion. Yeah. So that means he might have some issues in the bottom of a squat or a lunge, so we're going to need to focus on ankle dorsiflexion, which we were definitely going to cover because now we're done with the assessment. Let's show you how to strengthen your feet and ankles and improve your mobility.